Good evening and welcome to Business Live with me, Emma Davis. In our headlines, governments under pressure to explore new options to improve Ghana's revenue position after abolishing value-added tax on domestic electricity consumption.
Governments need revenue, yes, but then government should be looking at other means of raising revenue, and I think that we have enough practice already as an economy, and so there should rather be more revenue-enhancing measures that the government should be looking at.
Taxes paid by companies working in Ghana's oil sector falls marginally, a development expected to impact badly on the government's revenue mobilization drive. Also, Ghana saved about $2.7 billion in reserves over a year period as a result of the Gold for Oil and Reserves program. These and many more in the next 30 minutes with me, Emma Davis. Welcome. Let's settle for the details. Government will now have to explore new avenues to improve the country's revenue position. This was after the Finance Ministry directed the various power distribution companies to suspend the implementation of the value-added tax on domestic electricity consumption. The VAT on electricity consumption was supposed to have brought in about 500 million cedis. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is promising to overhaul the country's tax system to address concerns of putting pressure on the limited taxpayers.
We have put in place the necessary infrastructure for Ghana to go cashless. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of a digital version of the Ghana cedi in Seshwiwioso. This is known as the Central Bank Digital Currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. In my humble opinion, the e-cedi, with appropriate privacy protections, will be the ultimate weapon in our fight against corruption, because it will provide transparency, reduce the risk of fraud, robbery, tax avoidance, and money laundering, since it will be easy to track the movement of money and identify suspicious activity. The e-cedi will quicken the pace of Ghana's move towards a cashless or near cashless society. Ladies and gentlemen, to move towards a cashless economy, however, we have to encourage the population to use electronic channels of payment. To accomplish this, under my administration, there will be no taxes on digital payments. The e-levy will therefore be abolished.
Meanwhile, senior tax partner at Deloitte, George Ankuma, has advised government to develop revenue-enhancing measures and cut expenditure as alternatives to taxes. He further called on Parliament for the amendment of the tax laws. Mr. Ankuma was commenting on Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's presentation of his vision if elected as president in the December elections.
Government needs revenue, yes, but then government should be looking at other means of raising revenue, and I think that we have enough practice already as an economy, and so there should rather be more revenue-enhancing measures that the government should be looking at, and also ways of cutting government expenditure, especially in this year being an election year. That's what government should be looking at, but not to introduce taxes such as this. I would even say that organized labor should be looking at engaging government and in with Parliament to the extent of ensuring that this provision in our tax laws of charging VAT, which is beyond the lifeline VAT and levies applying on it, should completely be exempted. And so that provision for Parliament to consider amending the provisions in the tax laws to eliminate or to to exempt supply of electricity for domestic or for dwelling completely exempted, so that we do not get to this stage again. And I think it is the right call, even as the minister, the vice president has mentioned that in his administration he will scrap it, and I believe the other opposition government or opposition party has also mentioned that ex-president Mahama has also mentioned that he will scrap it. So that suggests that both parties think that this is not a tax that we should implement now, and so there should be that conversation for a possible withdrawal completely or possible exemption of entire usage of electricity for domestic use or for dwelling.
On the other hand, the business community has welcomed the suspension of the 15% VAT on tax on electricity consumption. According to the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonam Apelu, his outfit is willing and ready to engage government to ensure both members and consumers enjoy some relief.
You'd observe that the countries that develop with industrialization normally have a huge consuming public. So what it means is that the disposable income of citizens are crucial for industrial development. And so any effort to take away from disposable income of consumers provide a huge source of worry to industry. Because whilst we are producing and asking our citizens to buy what we produce, they need to have the money to purchase. And so if you are leaving them with VAT on electricity, it would naturally deprive them of their disposable income that they would have otherwise be using to buy the goods that we produce. So for us, the suspension is in order. Our view is that the government must really take steps to engage in intensive stakeholder engagement. If we study the history of AGI is always available to engage. We believe that solution lies in the minds of collective. And so we're happy to sit with government, which we do regularly. We're available anytime they engage us. We're happy to discuss and come to an amicable solution. But at this stage, in the tragedy of the history of the country, it is very difficult to consider any imposition of taxation in any form.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has stated that the gold reserves and gold for oil programs saved the country about $2.7 billion in reserves. The program was targeted at building reserves, reducing the pressure on the local currency, as well as supporting the import bill of essential commodities such as fuel. According to the Vice President, the purchase of about 45,000 tons of gold has been beneficial in the country's ability to build foreign exchange reserves.
Interest you to know that since this program started, the Bank of Ghana has purchased 26 tons of gold at $1.73 billion. The government of Ghana Gold for Oil program, which also started in late December 2022, has purchased 16 tons of gold at $1.06 billion that has been available for the import of petroleum products. Together, the gold for reserves and the gold for oil programs have unlocked $2.79 billion to meet external payments of the country in just over a year. These two policies have allowed us to build foreign exchange reserves and pay for critical imports like fuel, stabilize the exchange rate. It is important to note that the $2.7 billion that we have unlocked is almost equivalent to the $3 billion loan that we have obtained from the IMF, which is going to be disbursed over 3 years. What is clear to me is that if we had started implementing these policies, say 20 years ago, Ghana would be in a very different situation today.
Now, taxes paid by companies working in Ghana's oil sector witnessed some marginal decline in 2023. This is based on an analysis of the Petroleum Fund's reports from 2022 to 2023. George Yafe has more.
In 2022, the oil exploration companies working in Ghana's oil sector paid $388 million to the state in the form of corporate taxes. But in 2023, it dropped marginally to $364 million. The marginal decline can be linked to slowdown in oil production by some of the oil exploration firms and challenges with prices of crude oil on the international market. A careful look at the numbers also show that Cosmos Energy paid the highest in terms of corporate taxes with more than $170 million. In 2022, these companies paid $733 million in the form of surface rentals to the authorities, whilst in 2023, almost $1 billion was paid. But for some, this development might be described as worrying if it continues. But for some, this development might be described as worrying if the trend should continue. This is due to its contribution to the economy and how revenue from that area has impacted on the country.
Let's stay a little longer in the sector as energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleimana is calling for more investments in crude oil and gas production to reverse the decline in earnings from exports last year. According to him, there is not much that can be done on the international front. Hence, domestic oil exploration firms need to save the sector.
Would have been accountable for, reduction in receivables in your oil export. Number one would have been your volumes, how much you have churned out within the period. And the second one would have been the prevailing prices of the commodity that you are churning out over the period. And if you look at the two, I think both didn't work perfectly to our favor, but the wild card here would have been the commodity prices. Of course, international space, there's nothing much we can do. It's a wild variable nobody has control over. However, within our space, in terms of how much volume that we churn, we certainly can do something. What we can do is to just increase the investment within the space. Pius, in the upstream business, whatever profit that you get or whatever amount of volume that you churn out is based on how much you put in. So I'll urge on our LOCs, TALO, ENI, to look at the market and move away from the capital discipline and invest so much. I know there are challenges within the space with respect to competing interests as and renewables, but I think oil and gas still has potential and it will still be very relevant in the foreseeable future. So the only thing that we can do to reverse the trend is to increase our investment. Investment is needed to increase our production plateau, elongate it as it is, and then to even bring in new fields. All this requires investment. So yes, the only way we can turn out the tide is to invest more.
Away from the sector, the managing director of Labadi Beach Hotel, David Edwafo, has stated that the country has hotel facilities that can host international conferences and events to enable Ghana rake in more foreign earnings. He added that the country provides the best destination for conferences across the West African region with exciting tourism sites. There is more in this report.
Ghana's premier 5-star hotel, Labadi Beach Hotel, was adjudged the most customer-oriented hotel of the year, conference and banqueting team of the year, most digitalized hotel of the year, most secure hotel of the year, and the very prestigious 5-star hotel of the year award. Mr. Edwafo stated the hotel achieved all of this feat by making sure the staff deliver excellent service to customers.
We provide the best of service, and I'll say proudly that I have a team that is so dedicated to what they do that they provide quality service. And in our industry, service delivery and consistent service delivery, excellent service delivery is the key to winning your customers and getting customer retention. And that has been the hallmark of Labadi Beach Hotel. We provide and deliver quality service.
According to him, the remarkable achievement further solidifies Labadi Beach Hotel's position as the first choice hospitality destination in Ghana.
It is not easy to provide standardized service and consistent quality service, and of course food, quality food to big numbers if you don't have a team that can deliver that. And we have the team here. We have the best kitchen. When it comes to food, we have the best kitchen. We provide the best food in this country. So winning that award is an endorsement and tells the world what Labadi Beach Hotel can do and is doing.
Touching on the future, he revealed that the hotel has a number of events planned for the year to excite customers and the public.
We keep changing things. We keep making things different. We keep bringing out innovative products, things that will excite the customer, because exciting the customer is our hallmark. We want to excite the customer. So we have other things lined up. Easter is coming. Valentine is coming. We have Valentine products. We have, for couples. And Akwaba restaurant is open for Valentine.
The Ghana Tourism Authority says it will soon continue with the renovation of some stalled projects across the country. Deputy Chief Executive Officer Ben Ananinsia indicated that the authority is engaging government for the construction of road networks leading to these tourist sites. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of Land Tour's 30th anniversary celebration.
The Ghana Tourism Authority said the redevelopment of these tourist sites is expected to breathe new life into the site, making it a more appealing and accessible destination for both domestic and international visitors.
So the awareness creation is the first way to start. And then you look at when people move around, what will they see? So we are working on upgrading some of the tourist sites. You just recently saw Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, for example. Work is going on in Salaga in respect of the slave trade and slave sites, slave wells. Work is going on somewhere in Pikoro in the north and some other places. The Menchia Palace Museum, it was already there, but it's been upgraded as part of the World Bank tourism. So there's a conscious, deliberate effort to improve the experiences at tourist sites through putting the necessary infrastructure and all of that.
Chief Executive Officer for Land Tours, Maoli Jibu, called for more collaboration for domestic tourism.
A long and difficult journey, but we've been able to overcome all the challenges that have come through. As like in any business, there's battles that you have to go through and make sure you'll be able to find solutions to it. We're excited about the future, though. There are a lot of opportunities for us to see what's going to happen. 30 years from now, we didn't even know what tourism was in Ghana, but we are seeing a big difference. And the good thing about us is that we have other destinations that helps us to promote our brand. But we are also worried about what is happening in West Africa. What is happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, and even in Senegal just this weekend.
Executive Chairwoman for Land Tours, Mona Boyd, expressed her excitement and urged authorities to do more to support domestic tourism.
Well, there have been many. I started this business 30 years ago, and mainly to provide services for the diaspora coming into Ghana, the American diaspora. And I felt like they should have an experience that would make them want to come back.
Still watching Business Live with me, Emma Davis. We'll take a quick break. Welcome. Thanks for staying. Ghanaian businesses have been urged to be heavy on bookkeeping and other forms of record keeping in their businesses to attract more foreign investors. According to Director of Fortwell Solicitors, a London-based law firm, Daniel Coy said, lack of proper record keeping, especially financial records, sale of goods and stock taking, among others, can be disadvantageous to the growth and sustainability of the operations. Here's more.
Well, this is a visa scheme that allows individuals and businesses to be able to tap into the UK market, to bring their products into the UK market. So when we talk about global mobility visas, especially the UK expansion visa, this is what is designed for any business entity who is looking to set up in the UK market. So if you have a company like Multimedia, they want to set up an FM station for in London, this is the type of visa we'll be going for to get to some of the workers to come to the UK to come and set it up. So if you have a bank, you have a fintech organization, you have a real estate, you have a restaurant, whatever the nature of business that you've got, so long as you've been trading within the Ghanaian or international market for more than 3 years and you are looking to expand into the UK market, then this is the type of visa we will be preparing or assisting you with, so that you can get some of your workers or somebody that you trust or you yourself to be able to come to the UK with your family. It allows us to bring about 5 workers and their family members to come to the UK to help you to establish that business. And this is what the UK government is doing, because of course they have left the EU, as we are aware. They are looking to tap into different markets, and the Commonwealth market is one of the biggest areas that they are looking at currently.
Does the AFCFTA play a role in all of this? And if yes, what exactly is the role?
It does, in a sense that you realize that when you are into some of these things, there are companies who want to expand out there, and they have been before they expand to the European market or to the UK market, they have tried their hands in expanding to countries such as Uganda and other African countries. So once you have been able to master the skill of expanding to other African countries, you will be able to replicate that to the UK market as well, even though the dynamics might be a little bit different. So basically, we have a situation where people have the misconception that these visa schemes are for the multinational companies or for the big organizations. So if the little shop owner somewhere who is trading in tiles, or who is got a little restaurant somewhere with maybe 2 or 3 workers, this is not for them. But that is a misconception. When we look at the eligibility criteria for some of these visa schemes, you realize that it is open for a wide range of business owners. Sometimes the difficulty we have with the Ghanaian business owners is record keeping. They don't have enough record keeping. They don't do their taxes. They don't file those. They don't do their accountant doing the record keeping for them. So when it comes to these things, then it becomes difficult. So what advice we give to them is that if you are looking to expand into some of these markets, these people are looking at your books. How well have you been running for the past 3 years? If you've got your record keeping very well, then we are open for you.
Before we go, let's do this story. The Ghana Enterprises Agency, in collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation, has committed to empowering more women-led businesses and establishments owned by persons with disabilities under its Business in a Box project. With an investment of 660 million cedis, the 4-year project will provide young entrepreneurs with essential tools, knowledge and support to start and expand their businesses. Here is a report at a regional sensitization launch of the project in Kumasi.
Government in the past year announced a freeze in public sector employment with commitment to empower youth entrepreneurship. The Business in a Box project aligns with the government's vision to generate 1 million jobs for young people in Ghana by 2025. The program comprises youth skills development, access to markets, a startup kit, youth social networks, and policy and regulatory support. It is targeted at diverse economy sectors from agriculture to vocational skills. Kosi Yankee Aye is CEO of the Ghana Enterprises Agency.
The Business in a Box was devised in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation and Ghana Enterprises Agency. The whole idea behind the Business in the Box was to support the youth mainly young women, persons with disabilities, and we provide support to them. This is to provide different components, right? There's the youth skills development that looks at providing capacity development for those who want to move from the agric business into entrepreneurship, those who are moving from apprenticeship onto entrepreneurship, and those who need business development skills or entrepreneurship development skills. The second component looks at regulatory support. We realize that a lot of the people we work with, especially the youth and persons with disabilities, do not have access to regulatory support, but that's what they need to access markets. And so this program specifically was designed to ensure we provide that as well.
In line with the government's commitment to inclusive and diversity in economic participation, 70% of the targeted 250,000 participants are women-led businesses, with 10% being persons with disabilities. The project is streamlined to complement the government's ongoing efforts to address the pervasive youth unemployment challenge. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, reiterated the government's efforts to provide a conducive and level playing ground for individuals.
The government of Ghana, under the leadership of His Excellency, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, recognizes the pivotal role of the youth in national development. Initiatives such as the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program and the Ghana Enterprise Agency's Youth Entrepreneurship and Employment Program exemplify the commitment to fostering the entrepreneurial ecosystem, providing integrated support for young businesses to grow and succeed.
That's how we part company tonight on Business Live. My name is Emma Davis. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com, and our top stories there for you. Ghana's earnings from crude oil exports production fall by over $400 million in 2023. Salute and give particular recognition to BOG for pulling economy back. That's according to Baumia. Do visit the site and be updated. Have a good evening.